The Communist Manifesto. Okay, so we're in the introduction still, and underlying process appears to be gradual, a slow step-by-step growth in the productive forces of the economy, but gradualism, economic or political, is not the theme of the Marxist system, which conceives of history as advancing through vast and catastrophic transitions when the productive forces come into conflict with the mode of production. But how, in the name of common sense, are we to conceive of such a conflict? The productive forces, as we have seen, are to be understood as the constituent parts of the economic system. The mode of production, on the other hand, is the whole system constituted by these parts, taken not as isolated elements, but as interdependent with one another in the production process of the economy. Now, here we see that they're making it very clear that there's something already going on. It's kind of like you went to a company, right? And, okay, here's a good example. My dad was working with a company once, and he was working his way up to the top. He was already training, but he wasn't a supervisor or anything like that. He was in the welding department, and they wanted to expand the welding department. They wanted it bigger, so he had 3 guys under him, and he was training them to weld. Now, my dad's friend, he also was in the tool and die department, and they were already getting ready to start their own business. My dad wanted a huge welding department, and he wanted a huge tool and die department, and they were going to go to business together, and they had another friend who was willing to go with them. So all 3 of them were going to start a business, and they were looking in the Los Angeles area off of over by Bethlehem Steel and Huntington Park. So they wanted to make sure that they were close to a production place where they can be productive and just sprout out. So my dad walked in and caught the boss's wife with a guy they hired. He was a musician, and they hired him, and they used to all go see him play at the clubs. And he took over the office. He was in shipping and receiving, and he took over the office, and they found out that he was messing around with. But before they found out, my dad caught them, and they fired my dad. You see, the guy who took over the shipping and receiving took over the office too. Everything was already productive. It was already in production. It was already generated. It was already moving. And for me to listen to this, it sounds like something like that, a takeover. And I would read this book specifically because I know that this is a takeover. Someone intends to take over something. They intend to take something, somebody's wife, somebody's company, somebody's city, somebody's county, somebody's country. And the city of Los Angeles, they had many different errors in the mayor's offices, only in one specific area. And that tells me that somebody's trying to take over that area there. Somebody who's familiar with it. So I'm thinking to myself, identity theft. I'm thinking to myself, priestcraft, witchcraft. I'm thinking to myself, drugs. I'm thinking to myself, communism. I'm thinking to myself, no, Jesus. None. Even though it may be confessed, there is none. I'm College Classic Campus Hits and TC Barra. There's a lot going on in the world today. People think it's the end of the world because somebody said something about 3 blood moons. I wonder. But the Bible says we don't leave here until the wicked one confesses he is he, Satan. I am college class of campuses. I do worship Jesus Christ. I love him with all my heart. And when God removes the seal from the sixth candlestick, is that when he reads the Lamb's Book of Life?